Well, in the last week, hundreds of California inmates have walked out of jail on sentences that were suddenly reduced from felonies to misdemeanors. It's because of Prop 47 passed by voters last week. KPIX5's Phil Matier on how the Bay Area is being affected by the early release. Phil?
It's pretty amazing. No sooner did the votes cast than district attorneys and sheriffs across California started working, and the next thing you know, inmates were being released. Here's the story.
And it's rising every day.
And it's much the same story in counties all across the Bay Area as prisoners get out of jail early because of the law changes made under Proposition 47.
Drug cases, petty theft, forgery cases, receiving stolen property, cases before the election, which were felonies, now misdemeanors.
And the number of those cases is expected to skyrocket in the coming months.
So you're talking about hundreds, possibly thousands of cases.
And that doesn't include people who can now have their past felony convictions dropped to misdemeanors as well.
Here's the list. I've got about 80 pages like this with 60 to 70 cases and clients on each page.
The hope is that making crimes less serious will keep people out of prison and also make it easier for them to go straight by not having a serious criminal record.
Reality is most of these people are serving county time anyway.
But many in law enforcement aren't so sure. What effect is that going to have on crime?
Well, that's the great unknown. Misdemeanors don't go on supervised probation, don't get any significant time. And whereas before, when you committed enough times, we say, okay, enough is enough. We're going to give you some jail time. That threat doesn't exist anymore.
We've had a few dozen cases that have been reduced to misdemeanor. Already, yeah. This has been happening since the election.
For our county, we estimate it's going to be about a third of our felonies. About 1,000 cases that we previously have charged as felonies based on record are now going to be misdemeanors.
Now, this is a big change from the last time we were talking about crime years ago, and it was about 3 strikes, and it was about putting people away for longer for fewer offenses. The California public has decided to change course. It's interesting to note it wasn't the state legislature or the governor that did this issue. They wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. It went to the voters said yes, and already the doors are opening. In San Francisco, Phil Matier, KPIX5.
Phil, thank you. The initiative is projected to keep about 4,000 inmates out of state prisons each year. That is more than enough to help the state meet a prison population cap ordered by federal judges.